Attorney General Eric Holder says Congress tied the Obama administration's hands in trying the alleged 9/11 mastermind and his accomplices. Now, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and his accused co-conspirators will be tried by military commissions at Guantanamo Bay.
Joining us live to talk more about this is former Judge Advocate General for the U.S. Army, Mike Nardati. What sorts of legal challenges does this new attempt to bring the defendants to trial present for both sides, General?
Well, I think, number one, anytime any undertaking of a criminal prosecution is going to be a challenge because there are so many unpredictables at the trial. But I think fundamentally the course that the administration is taking now is a product of not just the practical impediments that Congress has erected to bringing the trials back to the United States and civilian courts, but also the recognition that military commissions are a legitimate and viable option that the president has, and he should use them in the appropriate cases. And these are appropriate cases to use those.
Are the rules of evidence different between the two types of court procedures?
I think you'd find more similarities and differences, and I think let me just make one observation that I think is important to keep in mind, that the comparison between military commissions and federal criminal courts, in my opinion, is the wrong comparison. These are unlawful enemy combatants, and the appropriate comparison should be made to what other international criminal tribunals, what standards do other international criminal tribunals follow in cases such as this. And I think if you line up if you line up the array of rights that you would find and the procedures within military commissions to those international tribunals, they compare very well. The major difference is that the international tribunals don't adjudge the death penalty, the military commissions can, but in terms of the fundamentals of a presumption of innocence, proof beyond a reasonable doubt necessary for conviction, and the follow-on rights, all of the basics are there. And I think that it will become evident as the proceedings continue that this is not some shortcut to justice. It is a very sophisticated and complex process to follow in order to find someone guilty.
How much do you think of what's happening now has to do with the upcoming 10th anniversary of 9/11 and the need for the families of the victims to start seeing some sort of justice?
Well, I think that's certainly a factor. The Attorney General mentioned that yesterday, but I think as a practical matter, if they wanted to move these cases, this was going to be the way to do it. And this was not a quick decision. This is something that has been in the works, has been under consideration for some time. One of the first thing that the president did after he was elected was he formed a commission to look at policy with respect to detainees, including whether to continue with commissions. So there was a very thorough study of that made, and the decision to retain commissions was based on the practicalities that the president recognized once he assumed the mantle of power as the commander-in-chief. So I think that like it or not, I think what they have concluded is that the fundamentals of the approach of the prior administration were correct, and that they're following a lot of that blueprint in the things that they're doing with detainees and military commissions.
Thank you so much for talking with us, former Judge Advocate General for the U.S. Army, General Mike Nardati.